That's a group of men that I'm proud to be associated with, and that hopefully we can take care of them too, and make sure that we do right by our football staff. But those are just some things I wanted to say, and again, I didn't dress up for you guys. I have a couple other places to go after this, so I don't have my sweatsuit on today. So I guess with that, Jeff, we'll open it up to questions.
All right, we have 2 microphones. Please raise your hand. Bring a microphone to you.
Hi, Bill. Talking about, you said that your horse in the race is the coaches and the players. You want to make sure that everything that you're doing is state of the art for them.
Right.
Has what you're doing for them changed in the last couple of weeks as a result of the last couple of weeks? And can you talk about what those things are?
That's a great question. We've had ongoing discussions. I probably talk 2 or 3 times a week with Dr. Joyner. And one of the things about leading a college football program and being part of an athletic department that's a fantastic athletic department, which is a part of a big university, is that things don't happen overnight. So I think since the day I've arrived here, since the day I was hired, Dave and I have had many, many conversations about where we're headed with this football program and what are the things that we need to make sure that we stay up with the Joneses, so to speak. And they've worked with me since day one. Nothing has changed in the last week or 2 weeks. It's just ongoing, and hopefully we can continue to make these improvements, and those will help our football program going forward.
Bill, I just want to ask you just to clarify this. You did not receive $1.3 million gift from Mr. Pugol?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
No.
That.
Bill, last Sunday, ESPN reported that you were unhappy that you received quote-unquote bad information during your interview process, that the NCAA would not impose sanctions on the program. It was just a criminal matter. And I think that got everybody thinking, oh my God, he's angry, he's going to leave. Was that true?
Let me clarify that. When I interviewed for the job, I interviewed with a search committee here. I had a Skype interview when I was in Foxborough, and then I came on campus here. And I asked many, many questions. I think if you asked Dr. Erickson and Dr. Joyner, I think one of the things that probably impressed them was the fact that I had many more questions than they actually had. And so one of the questions I had was about the NCAA and what was their role in this going to be. And at that time, Dr. Erickson had received a letter from the NCAA in which he had to answer several questions. And they felt at that time that once they answered those questions, they would know better about what the NCAA's role would be in this whole thing. So it wasn't anybody that gave me bad information. It was just nobody really knew. And so I took somewhat of a leap of faith. Penn State took a leap of faith, and I shook their hand and became the head football coach here. And that's exactly what happened.
Bill, could you expanding on that, could you give your reaction to Governor Corbett's lawsuit against the NCAA and where you're going from here?
Well, one of the things, I'll give you my opinion on many, many things, but that's not something I'm going to give you my opinion on. I don't have an opinion on that.
Bill?
Go ahead, Mark.
Like you were saying earlier, wanted to make sure everything's in best place for your assistants and your players. And you've always had ongoing discussions. What are some things that you would like to see put in place that would enrich it for them that you'd like to see down here?
College football, pro football, the best college football programs, and I really believe that we're going to be in that category someday. I don't think we're there right now. I think we've got a ways to go, and in pro football, the same thing. The best organizations in pro football are always the ones that are thinking about ways to do things differently. From year to year. Every year is different. I just met with the team here at 7 a.m. and I said, look, 2012 has been over for a couple of months now, that season, and we've got to create a new identity. So we will constantly here at Penn State talk about new ways of maybe there's new weightlifting equipment, or can I have a few more guys in the recruiting department to help Billy Cavanaugh with recruiting. Maybe there's different ways to do study hall. Maybe there's different ways to help with our marketing department as it relates to football. you know, those are all things that we need to constantly be talking about at Penn State as we move year to year, because we can't just sit and stay the same. We've got to be creative. We've got to think out of the box. We've got to do the best job we can for our players and for our staff to make sure that we're putting them in the best situation to get a great degree and to win football games.
But nothing new or changed yet within these last couple of weeks, though.
So, you know, again, those are conversations that I'm not going to, I mean, this isn't the inner circle right here, Mark. You know what I mean? The inner circle is not here, so I'm not going to get into that with you. But, you know, there are always things. We have very smart people here and creative people here, and those are conversations that take place all the time.
Bill, what would you do if an NFL team called you next year at this time?
I mean, that's next year. You know, I'm telling you right now, I'm committed to this 2013 team, and I'm looking forward to coaching them. And that's, you know, I respect you, Guy, and I respect your. But to me, that's a very speculative question. I'm looking forward to going down the AFCA convention today. And I anticipate being at Penn State. Believe me, I plan to be at Penn State to be the head football coach here, and I'm looking forward to coaching these kids.
Is coaching in the NFL one of your goals still?
You know, it's something that, like I said, it's the highest in our profession. It's the highest level of football, and it's a league that I have a ton of respect for. And like I said, I'm the head football coach at Penn State, and I'm looking forward to being the head football coach at Penn State.
Bill, I think everybody that's married knows that our happiness is directly correlated with our wife's happiness. How did family play a role in wanting to stay here at Penn State?
Well, anybody that's gotten to know my wife over the last year knows that she's quite obviously, Colleen is quite obviously the star of the family. I think Michael is a close second. Michael and Jack are close seconds there, but you know, Colleen's a very bright person, and you know, she's obviously the most important person in my life with my two sons, and we had a lot of discussions, and we're very, very happy here at Penn State. We enjoy where we live. We love the schools here. We've made a lot of good friends here. We enjoy the staff that we work with here, and it's a fantastic place to live. It's a very unique place. It's you know, it's great living in a college town. There's always energy. You know, you're living in a college town where there's students here all the time, and there's a lot of energy and great student body, and so it's been a great year for us.
Bill, with regards to recruiting, when back here, with regards to recruiting, did it concern you when word came out that you were having interviews with these teams, the kind of effect it would have on the recruits, not knowing, you know, what you were going to do?
No, because I know the discussions that I've had with our prospects, and I can't get into the individual prospect. Again, that's not legal. We get on this recruiting kick, and I have to be real careful about how I answer this. You know, the NCAA test is an open book test, so I don't know the rule book back and forth. It's open book, so gotta be careful about how we go down this road. But I've had very honest and open discussions in recruiting with all the families and prospects that we recruit, and there's a lot of trust there. That's all I'll say about that.
Well, maybe follow up on that. So how worried were you about the impact, whatever transpired over the last week, the impact on fans, alumni who would grow to support the program in the past year?
You know, I look at it this way, Gennaro. I'll tell you, you know, I think it's pretty neat that you know, the National Football League in some ways was interested in the head coach and the staff here at Penn State. I think it says a lot about our staff. It says a lot about the respect that the NFL has for Penn State football. And that's what I would say to our fans. I love our fans. Our fans are huge to our football program. Our student body is just, I've said that over and over again, it's the best student body in the country, 25,000 seat student section that never sits down. And I would just say that, you know, we know how important they are to us, and I think they should be proud of the players here and the coaching staff that they have here.
Bill, obviously there's some uncertainty over the direction of the administration here in the next couple of years. Is that something that you're anxious to see resolved in terms of who will be the athletic director going forward, and and also when a new president is named, how that affects you?
I'm the football coach, Neil. I'm in charge of the football program. I'm going to do the best job that I can do for the football program. What I'll say about that is I have a lot of confidence in our leaders, Rod Erickson, Dave Joyner. I have good relationships with those two guys. We talk a lot, especially Dave and I, but I also talk to Rod a lot. And just knowing the intelligence level and the character and the leadership capabilities of those guys, I'm in line behind them, and I stand with them. So whatever people above me decide to do, that I have bosses, and that's who I work for, and I'm going to follow that lead.
Hey, Bill, would you be able to elaborate at this point in time on some of the interactions you've had with recruits who have enrolled early on campus now?
Yeah, I think I'm allowed to do that. Yeah, we have 7 new players here on campus that basically arrived over the weekend. We're really excited about those guys. I'm not going to get into individual guys. I think you know who they are. We spent a lot of time. We have a combination of scholarship guys and run-on guys. We're really excited about both groups of guys that came in here, and they're guys that we just really want them to get off on the right foot academically. That's the big thing, and so that's what their goal is right now, and then acclimate themselves into the weight program and conditioning and all those things with Fitzy that they have to do. But we're really excited about that group of guys, and then hopefully, after signing day, everybody will see that we've brought in a great class of future Penn State football players.
Bill, you mentioned a couple times adding support people for recruiting. Can you give us a feel for maybe where you stand? You talk about keeping up with the Joneses with some of the other programs that are at your level.
Right. I think we're in good shape. I think we can do things better. I think a lot in college football, many of the things that take place in recruiting has a lot to do with manpower. So I just believe that we can add a few positions there, maybe a graduate assistant position or some other things. I don't want to get into the details of it with you, but that will help us in that recruiting department. And those are discussions that we've been having for a while here, and hopefully we'll be able to do that soon.
Coach, if you're able to comment on this, just with Dan's question in mind, having Adam Brenneman on campus now, obviously his presence with the recruiting was pretty big leading up to it, it seemed like. Are you able to comment on just what his presence is finally joining the team and also how his recovery process has been?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the recovery process. I'll just say that we've got a great kid there that we think has fantastic potential, and now he has to put his head down and go to work. And he comes from a great family. His parents, brother, sister, just fantastic people. It's been great to get to know them, and we're really excited about his future here at Penn State. And it's a very strong position for us. You're talking about some guys there that have played a lot of football for us, and then with the addition of him, that's one heck of a position for us coming back in 2013.
Bill, you had exit interviews with players following the regular season. Did you glean any insight from that process as it, heading into your second phase of winter workouts, spring practices, that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely gleaned some insight. One of the things that was pretty interesting about that process was, again, every time you meet with a player, it's hard when you're what I've learned in a year, it's hard when you're the head coach to really get to know all 115 guys on your team or 100 guys on your team. So what I'll always try to do here, for the years that I'm here, will be to meet one-on-one with those guys at least twice a year, but hopefully more than that, And so I was able to really understand again the plethora, I guess, of majors that these guys have. You're talking about all these different majors that these guys have, and it's incredible. Communications, history, just unbelievable types of majors, English, business. It's incredible. Then I was able to hear from them again how confident they are in their ability when spring practice starts again to know the system, when they hit the ground running in spring practice, So I think it's every time you meet with those guys, it's you learn something new about those guys, and that's what I try to do.
As a follow-up to that, is there